Hey there, folks. You're listening to WCB, the underground sound of Emerson College. How y'all doing today? Welcome to Technically Not Experts. I'm Elliot Kelton.
And I'm Daryn Snyderwind. And here at Technically Not Experts, we talk about our hyperfixations that we are oh so passionate about and explain to the other person who has no knowledge on the subject. So we're technically not experts. We are for all intents and purposes.
But not legally.
That means nothing.
It means everything.
It doesn't mean anything. It's the most meaningless thing you've ever said. And you say a lot of meaningless things.
Well, if we're talking about meaningless things, let's just get right into the topic.
Okay. All right, what is the topic today, Elliot?
So the topic today is Monster High. Do you know what that is?
I do. I very much liked Monster High when I was a kid.
Now, let me just give you guys, for anyone who doesn't know what Monster High is, it's just a general summary. It's an animated web series on a website called monsterhigh.com. There are movies, there's dolls.
I'm pretty sure all of the other things exist because the dolls exist. But
100%,
okay.
Yes. There's video games. There was a book series. There were multiple book series, actually. I only found that out because I was researching this. And I never read the other book series. I only read the first one. And they're all about the children of famous monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, Medusa, stuff like that. And the main ghouls all go to Monster High in the web series, but in the books, it's all what happened before Monster High was created.
Oh.
So there are two to three different canons depending on what you're looking at. I'm going to say 3 for all intents and purposes. And we're going to be talking about those 3 canons as well as other parts.
Okay. I did not know there were 3 canons.
Yes. So the 3 canons are the books, the web series in the first movies, and then the last canon is the new movies. That's really it. So Daryn, what do you know about Monster High? What's your vibe about it?
So I played with Monster High dolls a lot when I was a kid. They were my favorite kinds of dolls. And I did watch a bit of the web series. Not a ton, just when it first came out. I was super into it. But I don't really remember any of it. And I know what my favorite dolls were.
Who is your favorite doll?
Draculaura.
Of course,
Which is the daughter of Dracula, who's a vegan. So she doesn't drink blood.
She faints at the sight of blood.
Yes, she was my favorite, I think just because she wore pink and had an accent.
Yes.
I also really liked Frankie, the daughter of Frankenstein, and Laguna Blue, the daughter of what?
She was the daughter of a sea monster, just a sea monster.
Yeah, I daughter. Is it the what's it called?
No,
the Loch Ness monster. I don't know.
On the website, it says sea monster.
I mean Claudine, which is the daughter of a werewolf.
Any werewolf whatsoever.
Just the Lon Chaney.
Any werewolf, just one of the many.
Okay.
So, as I said before, there are 3 different canons, and that's what I'm going to be talking about that first. So the first canon is the web series / the first movies, what you're familiar with.
Okay.
So the web series follows the main character, Frankie Stein, daughter of Frankenstein. She's only 15 days old, and she's the new girl at school at this new high school that she's never been to called Monster High.
I forgot about that. She's 15 days old.
15 days old.
I know she's a teenager because that's how she's going to this high school, and also because she was made that way. But she's a baby. She's less than a baby. She's newborn.
She is 15 days old. The weird thing is that no matter what storyline we're following, whether it's the books or the web series or anything, she's always 15 days old.
Does she never age past 15 days?
It doesn't make sense. Days? She doesn't count it to 16 days or 17 as each
Wasn't
day
there
goes.
an episode where she turned 16 days old in the web series? I think I remember this.
I can't remember. I think you're thinking of Draculaura's birthday.
I think really?
She turned 1600.
Okay, so
there's a lot of age differences.
And they're all in high school, which is so interesting.
So Frankie Stein, daughter of Frankenstein, only 15 days old, starting school for the first time. She's so excited. So she meets the other main characters, which are Claudine Wolf, who is a werewolf, Draculaura, the daughter of Dracula, she's a vampire, Cleo Denial, an Egyptian mummy, Laguna Blue, which is a sea monster, and Ghoulia Yelps, who is a zombie that does not speak any English.
Oh yeah, she only speaks in moans.
Yeah. And my personal favorite of all the characters, even though he is very rarely even in it, Deuce Gorgon.
I hate that name.
Deuce Gorgon, son of Medusa. I thought he was so cool. I wanted to be him.
I mean, he was hot, I guess. Doesn't he and Cleo Denial date?
Yes.
Because Cleo's like the mean girl
yes.
of the pack.
Yes, it's incredible. I love Deuce. Anyway, so let me just explain.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Don't do that. Was the gayest thing I've ever seen you do. He just did this little dance. He was like, deuces, ha, and like did a peace sign into the air.
So let me just quickly explain the characters. There's Claudine Wolf. She's a fashionista. She loves bold patterns. She's best friends with Draculaura, and she has a bunch of siblings, like a big amount of siblings.
You could say she has a pack of siblings.
A pack of siblings. But the characters that are shown to be her siblings in the show is Claude Wolf, who later on starts to date Draculaura. And
that's hot. I love werewolf and vampire romances. That's sick.
And her younger sister, Howleen Wolf, who like is just like mischievous and like kind of stupid, and I love her. Like
she's just kind of dumb.
She's just kind of dumb. She's just innocent, and like I feel that in like so many senses of the way. Then there's Draculaura.
That was a sentence. So many senses of the way.
Yes. Then there's Draculaura. She's 1,599 years old. She's turning 1,600 on Valentine's Day. That's her birthday.
Oh, that's so cute. She does have like a pink aesthetics. That makes sense.
And she has a birthmark, which is a pink heart on her face.
I know. I had the doll of her, and she was my favorite. I loved her.
As we said before, she's a vegetarian who faints at the sight of blood, and she later on dates Claude Wolf. Then there's Laguna Blue, on the swim team, loves chilling at the pool, has an Australian accent for some random reason. She dates Gil, who is another sea monster creature, but the difference is she is a saltwater fish and he's a freshwater fish.
Yikes. Also, I know the person who voices Laguna Blue.
Really?
Yeah, her name is Laura Bailey. She's a very famous voice actress, and she's on Critical Role, which is how I know her. And I oftentimes will go into like Wikipedia, like I'll get lost in Wikipedia, and I was looking through her filmography. I found out she played Laguna Blue, and she went by Ellie Dietz, or Elle Dietz.
Elle Dietz. Interesting.
When she did that.
And the last main character is Cleo Denial, the captain of the Fierce Squad, has the hottest boyfriend, Deuce, who in the first episode, Frankie has a crush on, and not knowing that Cleo's dating Deuce, she's like, yeah, my boyfriend is Deuce.
Ooh.
And Cleo's like, how dare you, I hate you now, and is angry at her, and for the rest of like the first like season, that's the reason why Cleo's the mean girl. She has a reason for it, she's not just like annoying.
She's like, you can't date Aaron Samuels.
You can't sit with us. So those are the main characters of the web series. In the canon, Monster High has existed for hundreds, possibly thousands of years. It's one of many monster schools, but it's the only one to have monsters of all kinds. Not just vampires, not solely werewolves.
So Monster High is woke.
Monster High is woke. The entire thing about Monster High is be yourself, be unique, like be your flaws.
This is why I loved the dolls when I was a kid, because I liked Barbies, I liked dolls, I liked that kind of stuff. But Monster High, they seemed like cool, and they seemed like I had a strong case of not like other girls syndrome, and so Monster High dolls seriously fed into that. But also I just liked something that was like, they weren't pretty necessarily.
They were fierce.
They were like
No,
they were fierce.
That's literally how they describe it in it. And then later on in the new reboot, they have been described as cuter rather than fierce. Like they've softened it.
I don't know like that. But then when I was a kid, they were like weirdly skinny and like had these bobble heads, and like they were not the prettiest things on the planet, but they were pretty for what they were, which was they were monsters. And I liked that. I liked that they were just like kind of screwy.
There was something unique, different, and really freaky, and we enjoyed it. And so there's so many characters. Like I listed the main characters, but there are so many characters, as you could probably remember.
Yes, there were a lot of characters.
Like I would say at least 100 probably. And like they come in and out. They're not like really like main characters. On the website, they have a huge list of every single character, every character's personality, what kind of monster they are, and who they are friends with. Which is like interesting because like at the time I remember like clicking through and being like, oh, so this is how they all know each other and learning like how friendships work. But now it's just too big and it's like you can't like.
You're just like, oh, wait, how do you know her? Wait, who's she?
Right. I used to be like, oh yes, I remember that Cleo is dating Deuce and that's how she knows this person. That's how she knows, and like there's a connection there. It makes sense. But now it's just too much.
There's just too many monsters.
Yes. And although every ghoul, ghoul.
Oh yeah, they all call each other ghouls.
Yes, gender neutral.
I don't even know if that is gender neutral.
It's not, but I find it funny because later on the website, it's ghouls and mansters.
I hate that. Ghouls is so much cuter than mansters. Mansters sounds like some kind of like weird like kids soccer team for boys. We're like, we're the mansters because we're little mansters.
Rawr.
And none of the boys like it. It's just like the soccer moms. They all think it's adorable.
100%.
And all the little boys like, no, that's so lame. I wanted to be fireballs or whatever.
I want to be the hot chili peppers. Anyway, so like, even though every single ghoul has their own unique way about them, they are all best friends and they all learn to accept themselves as who they really are instead of hiding their flaws.
Love it.
That's just a nice lesson for kids, right? Like
Yeah.
I enjoy that. And the main antagonist in the web series is Torilai, who is a werecat, which I guess that's a thing now.
I mean, I've watched Teen Wolf and they have all kinds of were people. They have were coyotes, they have were jaguars.
Do they have werecats?
Well, I mean, they have were-jaguars, so I'm assuming they're were-cats. And they have werewolves, of course.
Right. So Torilai is a werecat who hates Frankie and the ghouls and just wants to pull pranks on them. But even her, being the villain and the antagonist of the story, she isn't very evil. She's just mischievous. She just likes pulling pranks and pranks. Likes pulling pranks. And she has her reasons for not liking each girl. Like they are rude to her, which is like, yeah.
Ghoul on ghoul crime.
Ghoul on ghoul crime. Like, so technically, like even though she's like the villain of the story, she's not even that much of a villain. And unlike later in the newer movies, they have this like weird antagonist that I truly hate, Monica.
Monica?
She's a zombie.
Oh,
Monica.
Like what's her name? Ghoulia?
Yes, but Ghoulia's not in it anymore.
Wait, they cut out Ghoulia?
And put Monica, and I was like, oh, are they changing Ghoulia and we're gonna have like a new best friend? No, Monica's now evil. They've made zombies evil.
No, but Ghoulia was so cool.
We're getting to it. We're gonna get to it.
But I liked Ghoulia. I am genuinely upset about this, listeners. I am genuinely mad that they villainized zombies.
I'm gonna get to the fact that they villainize zombies because like that's the new reboot vibes, and like it just doesn't make sense. And that's the third canon.
And like I remember like in this web series, I remember like Frankie being like, oh, I had to get through this hallway full of zombies because they're so slow and I have to go by them, but they're all nice or whatever. Like that was like a thing.
It was like zombies are like slightly annoying at times, but they also have their own fun quirks. Like they are people too. Like it is a positivity thing.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
So then there's the second canon, which is the book series.
Mm-hmm.
So for the sake of this show, I will only be talking about the first book series since I didn't read the other book series.
There's multiple book series?
There's multiple book series. I only found out about them because I was researching it.
Are they connected?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
So that's why I will only be talking about the main book series, Monster High. I've loved these books as a kid. Like I really loved them. I read every single one of them. I remember like reading through them multiple times. And honestly, this summer, if I'm like not doing anything, I might find a book online and just like read through it and be like, what was this like?
Don't you have a library card or something?
I do have a library card.
Just like get like Overdrive.
Yes, that's the plan. That is the plan, exactly. And so weirdly enough, the main characters of the book, even though the main character of the series is Frankie Stein, the main character of the book is Frankie and Melody. This girl, Melody.
Who is Melody?
Melody is never once mentioned in the web series or the movies. any of them.
So she's just a new character, an
she's,
OC.
She's an OC basically in the books only, never mentioned again. And
Self-insert.
She's basically the main character. Like it leans more towards Melody than it does Frankie.
This sounds suspiciously like fan fiction. Melody Carver is such a fanficky name.
Yes. So Melody, we find out during I think it's the first or second book, we find out that she was adopted by her family.
See, fan fiction.
And by the family who raised her, and her actual birth mother is a siren. And so she has she can sing beautifully, melody, and you know.
I love sirens. I think they're dope.
And she can convince people to do things. And it she slowly becomes a little bit villainous as time goes on.
Yes, it's dark Melody.
Dark Melody. It is really cool. It's not all nerdy, oh my god. It kind of gets really into it. And so I enjoyed it.
Wait, what about Frankie? Wasn't she the main character of the other series?
Frankie and Melody are basically going back and forth in the books, but it's mostly Melody. Frankie is there, and I will be talking about it. So, anyway, in this universe, Monster High does not exist yet.
Oh.
It does not exist.
That's new.
All monsters live among humans, and they hide themselves from humans. And they do not call themselves monsters in the books. They call themselves regular attribute dodgers, or rads. R-A-D, rads.
They were just trying to be we're rad, and trying to find a way to fit that acronym in.
100%. But I loved it. I ate it up as a kid. I was like, this is my stuff. Oh. And so I was like, yes, they're not monsters. They're not bad people. They just have to hide themselves because of other people don't like that. So they're forced to hide their flaws and live in the human world without being noticed. And they live in Salem, Oregon, because there was a mix-up during the Salem witch trials. And they were told to go to Salem. They went to the wrong Salem.
Oh my god. When I was a kid, I didn't know that Salem, Massachusetts was a place. When people were talking about the Salem witch trials, because I grew up in California, I always assumed they were just talking about Salem, Oregon. And I was like, I thought the trial of Oregon was later. That's what the game said.
That's honestly me too. Also, because of these books, I had a dream for years to move to Salem, Oregon, and now that I've been to Oregon, no. Ew.
Oregon's nice.
It's boring.
I liked Oregon.
Anyway, they live in Salem, Oregon.
It's kind of boring, though.
It's boring.
It's pretty, though.
The main characters in the first book is Melody, who we've already talked about, Frankie, Cleo, Blue, not Laguna Blue, just Blue. That's her name in the show.
Basically Laguna Blue?
It's basically Laguna Blue, but remember, she has to hide herself. And Laguna is too much of it, I guess.
Okay.
Even then, the next character, Claudine.
I mean, Claudine's a name.
Claudine's a name. And then Draculaura does not go by Draculaura. She goes by Lala throughout the entire series.
Lala?
Lala.
That's way more on the nose than just Laura.
I don't know why, but she goes by Lala. And then there are the normies, the humans, which are Becca, Brett, Haley, and Jackson, but only kind of, because we find out later on he's Jackson, Jekyll, and Holt Hyde.
Oh no! They make Jekyll and Hyde a part of the Monster High canon? That's like making Sweeney Todd from Fleet Street a part of the frickin' canon. It's let me just include a serial killer into this.
But he's a child. He can't help it, and he's nerdy most of the time. When he's Jackson, he's nerdy, and when he's Holt, he's a DJ.
Who is your evil alter ego? A DJ. That's so awesome.
Are you telling me that the most evil people in the world are not DJs?
I'm not gonna correct you because you're not wrong.
He's a DJ. Holt Hyde, a DJ. Anyway, let's get through with it.
Oh my god.
So At one point in the book series, they tried to make a documentary showing Rad's lives and the oppression they experienced and a bunch of other stuff. But at the last second, Becca, one of the humans, ruins it by unblurring all the videos, all of the interviews, because they were supposed to stay in anonymity. But she unblurs it, and then it goes out on live television on the news for the entire world to see, outing them all as monsters.
She's outed them.
Yes.
She can't do that. That's illegal.
I mean, they're monsters. There's no laws about it. Like,
what? There's no protection.
People don't know they exist. It is our world right now, essentially.
And being like, oh, by the way, the daughter of Frankenstein exists, and also Frankenstein exists.
Which is like wild to us, and that's like the exact same like way that they are acting in there, because they're like, monsters don't exist. That's ridiculous. And so it's like a very like weird, interesting thing. Becca becomes the main antagonist, trying to show the world that they're monsters.
She just like, look at these gross beings or whatever.
100%. She hates them. And it's all because Frankie steals Becca's boyfriend.
See, this is what I don't like about... See, I like the web series more than these books, because I'm just going to say it. Because in the web series, like, yeah, Cleo doesn't like Frankie for having a crush on her
But
boyfriend.
she has reasons for it, and then she learns to like her anyway.
And she overcomes that unnecessary girl hate. Meanwhile, that's like the main part of this, where Becca's this evil ex-girlfriend because she's jealous, and I hate that.
She also just hates monsters. She just hates monsters.
And she's a racist. God damn it.
So at the end of the series, the ghouls, who are now like out and proud monsters, rads, they decide that going to the same school has been too hard as human beings, and they decide that it would be easier if they went to their own school where they felt more comfortable and safe, where they're not going to be hate crimed basically every single day. And so they create Monster High. And that Monster High is made from Draculaura's father's mansion. Okay.
So they make a Hogwarts for monsters.
Basically, yes.
Okay, with Dracula's mansion.
Basically, yes. And so so that's why it's very big. It's spacious. It has space for people to live there.
At Legacies, just copying this. Legacies copied Monster High. We're making it public now.
Oh, we're gonna get into what else copied Monster High.
Oh no! Wait. Okay. Okay.
And then
moving on.
The worst canon of the three canons, the newer movies. Disgusting.
I've never seen the newer movies. Aren't they in like this weird 3D animation?
Those are not yes, but no. So the web series is all animated, and then halfway through they decide to make it 3D, and I still vibe with it then, because that was still the same canon, even though it was like newer 3D vibes.
Okay.
This has gone to this weird animated 3D vibe, like it's a different one yet again, and it's a completely different storyline.
Oh.
So it's more similar to the books than it is to the web series, but it's still bad.
Okay.
So the new movies follows a slightly different story. Mm-hmm. It's basically Draculaura is the main character.
Oh, okay. I like this so far. I love Draculaura.
And she, it follows her being, feeling very alone in a world where she doesn't really know anyone else, and she's hiding, and she has to live in kind of fear. And she's posting stuff on YouTube all the time, and no one's watching her stuff.
Wait, why is she living in fear?
Because no one can find out that she's a vampire, or else they might, try and attack her.
Oh, so she also lives in the world full of humans?
Yes.
Okay.
And so she's posting stuff on YouTube, no one's watching it, she feels so disconnected. And then one day she finds basically the dark web, but instead of the dark web, it's the monster web, where it's where monsters can be themselves and be able to talk to other people.
So she found a chat room.
She found a chat room.
She found a chat room full of a bunch of other bisexuals.
100%. And so she starts to befriend people, and she starts to make friends. And over time, she starts saving other monsters that are getting into these dangerous situations. First, it's Claudine Wolf and her family because they're being chased by villagers. and like then it keeps going and keeps building. And
Was this in like old times?
This is in like right now.
Oh, by villagers. You mean by like her neighbors?
Yeah, but like they said it was villagers. It's weird. It's not good.
It's like, can you imagine your next door neighbor running around with a pitchfork?
Right. And the monsters aren't called rads in the series. That's only in the books.
Okay.
But like there's a secret monster internet. She starts getting really, really famous on the internet.
She becomes a
TikTok star.
She becomes
Basically,
a Monster High TikTok star.
She's
sick.
She's a TikToker, monster talker.
Monster talk.
She's a monster talker. And so she like slowly gets this following of kids her age who all want to find this like refuge. And she convinces her dad, yet again, Dracula, let's build it at our house, our mansion. Let's build Monster High because why not? For giggles. And
for gigs.
She's like saving people and it's a whole thing. Frankie becomes part of it. Like Frankie is definitely in there, but it's Draculaura's story. And the main antagonist is Monica, a zombie that's trying to turn other monsters into zombies.
What? But zombies are already monsters.
Right.
Can you be like a werewolf and a zombie or something?
I don't know, but she's trying to.
I don't like this. Is weak.
It's so weak. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason for her to hate the main characters. Like even with Torilai, there were reasons. With Cleo, there were reasons. With Becca, there were reasons. Even if they were bad reasons, there were reasons. Monica, she's just like, I'm a villain. I'm just an antagonist.
I'm a zombie and I want to make more of me.
Right. And she and her zombie guy friends, like all of her friends who are also zombies, are trying to take over the school. Like they villainize zombies.
I don't like that. I liked when zombies were just kind of part of the student body.
Same. That's like, because then it shows the beauty of what the theme of the plot is. And so
also, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not saying this to be like weird or anything, but this is something I've genuinely heard. Wasn't Gulia like her arc or her character was related? I've heard people relate her character to people with like nonverbal
I've never heard that before, but like it 100% makes sense.
Because like I've definitely heard
people who use a different language, like who are speaking a different language, or maybe using sign language, or maybe they just aren't fluent in English, or maybe it's nonverbal stuff. Like there's just like she is that.
She's like a character of like there's something. She's obviously different from everyone else, and she's treated a little bit differently from everyone else.
But she's the smartest character, and everyone knows it. No one looks down upon her.
Which makes me sad that they're just like, oh, you know that one character that everyone liked because she was different from everyone else and like kind of looked a little bit down upon for being different, but she persevered and was super smart and super like friendly and like worthwhile.
And just nice.
And just like a good person. And then you just like make her a villain. Good ghoul. Then you just turn her into a villain. You're like, oh no, you know people who are different, we don't like that. We don't like that at all.
That is literally what the entire show is about. So,
which makes me mad. That makes me mad.
Now we're going to get into why the show exists in the first place. There are the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Mattel, who created Barbie, the same company that created Barbie, created Monster High.
Uh-huh.
So it was all basically a marketing technique. Just like how they had Barbie having movies and those small TV shows, this is all marketing technique to buy new fashion dolls for little girls to teach them kind of girl boss type stuff.
White feminism lessons,
but also to show them like you don't have to hide who you are. You don't have to hide your flaws. You can be unique. And like the slogans that they used were where freaky just got fabulous.
Oh God.
Be yourself. Be unique, be a monster.
I don't like the be a monster one.
How do you, boo? Be out of the ordinary.
Okay, that one's just like straight up not
Bad.
other girls.
That one's just bad. And you know which one that one is? The newest one. Disgusting.
Oh, that's the one right now?
Yes.
Oh, I don't like
The
it.
2016 to present reboot, which we all hate.
I don't know anything about it, so I guess I hate it.
You hate it. You hate it. You're not allowed to like it. I have.
Is it the movies?
It's the new movies. It's the new movies.
Then
the
garbage.
old movies, great. Loved the old movies.
There's old movies? I thought there was just the web series.
The old movies and the web series came out at the same time, and then they added new movies to it.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, the old movies fit into the web series canon, and that's why it's like part of that. Like,
and is it the same animation?
It switches between, but it's still the same story.
Okay.
And so, and like the animation when it does change still looks nice.
Okay.
It's not as like this weird, ugly softness that they have now.
I feel okay. You keep talking. I'm gonna go look on my computer because I need to find out what the new and old animation was.
So here's like just the description of the dolls. The main characters of Monster High are play scale fashion dolls. Over 700 million dolls have been produced. They have many different skin tones, including blue, green, orange, pink, and a bunch of human skin tones as well. Each doll has its own fashion style, its own personality. Each has its own attributes of the monster that it's related to. So it may have fangs, it may have stitches, wolf ears, fins, bandages, snakes, whatever. And while they are mainly marketed at children, collector's edition dolls have also been made. In 2016, the doll series was rebooted with cuter faces rather than the fierce look of the original. That is a quote from the Wikipedia.
I don't like that. Also, here's an example. You guys can't see, unfortunately, but I'm looking up different pictures of old animation and new animation. Is this a new animation?
That's a new animation, yeah.
Okay, the new animation looks a lot prettier, a lot softer.
Cuter.
Definitely cuter. The old animation was 2D, and it was just like kind of dorky.
Dorky and rough around the edges, but so cute. Is
this also old animation when they went 3D?
Yes.
The old animation when they went 3D looks very...
Also dorky.
Very computer generated, very... It definitely looks like something that like I can imagine a college student animating for like a class or something. It doesn't look awesome. It looks like something out of a video game.
It looks like something out of a video game, but you know that like
it's not video game.
You at like 7, 8 years old would have loved it.
Yes, I don't think me at 9 would be like,
right.
Oh, I care. Oh, they have a before and after one. Great. Yeah, the after one, they definitely have more angular cheekbones. Like they definitely look like they're trying to make them hotter. Meanwhile, the before one, they just look like computer generated dolls.
Yeah, which is what they were supposed to be in the first place. Like the dolls are supposed to look like the characters.
Okay.
So now we're gonna get onto the website and the video games. On the website, did you play on the website?
I did play on the website. I loved the website. I don't remember playing a lot of games, but I watched the show and I read the character stuff.
Yes, I love the website. For anyone who ever loved the website.
Wait, I did play a video game. I played a video game on my DS.
I played it on my DS too.
Oh my god, yes. What monster would you be? Because I'm pretty sure I always was a werewolf.
I have no memory of the game. I just remember I played it for hours.
I loved that game.
Like I literally have zero memory of it, and I'm like, yes, this is the greatest video game of all time. If I find a DS and I find this game, I will be playing it.
I have my old DS and the old game at my house, and I will play it when I go home.
Daryn Snyder would please play it and then send screenshots. I want to live vicariously through you.
My DS is old. It's like pre-3DS. It's pink.
Mine too. Make a YouTube video, but like you know how like it's like gaming stuff, but like it's just really really bad. It's focusing way too much on like the DS.
I will do my best to record my experience on my 3DS.
So there was the website.
Or not 3DS.
You're not 3DS. You're just your DS. So there was the website, which we all loved. That's now basically ruined.
What did they do to it?
So at the time, as you may remember, you could watch the videos. You could play the games where you can make your own ghoul, like your own monster. You could read the monster magazines. Where
I remember that,
yeah. I loved all of that. Most of that stuff is gone now.
Why?
The only things left on the website are 3 games, 2 of which are unplayable.
What? Why? What makes them unplayable?
Because
It's just hard.
No. The third one's the hard one. So the 2 of the 3, one is when you go to the loading thing, it just doesn't load.
Oh, so it's just broken.
It's unplayable, like you cannot play it. And then the second one, you could get like halfway through it, and then something that's supposed to click, you're supposed to click on this specific backpack so it will open, and then you can get something inside of it. The backpack doesn't open. Even though if you press the hint, it has sparkles around the backpack, and you know that you're supposed to be going to the backpack. And no matter how hard you click on the backpack or wherever you're clicking, it just is broken.
Oh, that sucks.
And so the games are gone. The video's gone.
What? Wait, you watched them the other day.
I watched them like a month ago. They were there. They're taken away.
Where are they?
I have no idea.
We need to find them. They're an integral part of my childhood.
Right? Do you understand that?
I'm upset. Bring me back a Monster High web series.
The video's gone. The movie's gone. Not on Netflix anymore.
What?
There's only 1 movie left on Netflix, and it's of the new movies, the new canon, and it's disgusting.
The terrible canon.
The terrible canon. That's what we're calling it from now on. The terrible canon.
The terrifying canon.
So the videos are gone. There's only 1 movie on Netflix, and it's like the worst one. And then I tried to find anything else about it.
Okay.
I tried to search it up. On YouTube, they have the YouTube videos that they're still posting. I saw it said from 2 days ago.
What?
They are posting stuff to this day, but none of it is new stuff.
What is it?
It's just old 30-second clips.
Of the web series?
They have the web series on there as well. If you go all the way back 10 years ago.
So they have the web series on YouTube? Yes,
but it's very hard to find. It's not good quality.
Oh.
And it's just awkward, and in between some of the episodes, if you're just scrolling straight through, there's also stuff where it's women doing speeches about Monster High and how empowering it is to children and stuff.
Oh my god.
So it's
just white moms.
basically. And so it's hard to find any of the my favorite stuff about the game and about the videos. Everything I tried to find is kind of just erased.
That's so weird. Why? That makes no sense.
I don't get it. And so I've been trying to figure that out. And as I was figuring that out, you may remember this next part. It feels as though Mattel gave up on Monster High after they made a spin-off called Ever After High.
I have heard of Ever After High. Isn't that Disney characters? Or no.
Fairy tale characters.
Okay, because I know there's Descendants,
yes,
which is Disney villains and Disney princesses and all that. And then there's Ever After High. I remember my sister reading those. I don't know anything about them.
So Ever After High is mostly a web series. I did read a couple of the books. It's not as good. It's not even half as good. It's honestly terrible.
Ryan, hey Ryan, if you're listening, your favorite book series as a kid sucks.
That's me saying that compared to Monster High, these are terrible. Monster High, already bad quality, not good.
It's just, it's just for kids.
It's for kids. It's but this is just this is just not even the quality. There's nothing, there's no
edge,
and there's no good plot, good theme to it, how they're be unique, be yourself. So for Ever After High, they're the children of famous fairy tale characters. So there's the child of Snow White, there's the child of Cinderella.
So they are the kids of
yes,
Disney characters.
Yes, fairy tale characters, because they're not linked with Disney. It's confusing. I don't know how they have the rights to it. I've been trying to figure that out all day.
I would assume that, Ever After High is, I believe, sold with Disney. Descendants is made by Disney.
Descendants is made by Disney. Ever After High is a different thing.
I guess is Snow White and Cinderella, I guess they're not, because they had Tangled, and Rapunzel is not Disney property.
Right. They had Rapunzel character in Ever After High.
So is Cinderella and Snow White, are they not Disney property, or did they become Disney property?
I think they became Disney property, but like if they're using it from specifically the storylines from like the Brothers Grimm stories lines, which is what they use.
Oh, so Ever After High is not based on Disney. It's based on the Grimm fairy tales.
100%. So
that makes
fairy
sense.
tale characters. And that's why I have the hot take of saying Descendants is just Ever After High, but gayer.
Honestly, I've watched Descendants. I've never read the books, but I
read the books.
I watched the first 2 movies.
I watched all the movies.
Isn't the last movie like we find out that Mal's dad is Hades?
Yes.
Which I love so much.
I hated it. It was so bad. I
love Hades.
I loved it and hated it.
My favorite Disney villains.
The terrible hair that they gave him was incredible.
I saw that was awful.
Oh my god.
Also, just Dove Cameron kills it.
She does. Dove Cameron, love you. Anyway, so if now there are some people that will be like, Elliot, Descendants isn't gay. How can you say that Descendants is the gayer version of Ever After High? I did a small mini thing about this. It is gay. Look at Mal and Evie's relationship.
True, but she dates the nerdy guy, Evie,
yes.
And then Mal dates Princey Pooh.
Yes, but there's literal parts to the first, second, and third movie in which Evie's like doing Mal's lipstick, and like they're like inches away from each other. Like,
I mean,
they're like flirting with each other all the time. They're holding hands. Like I'm not making any of this up. It's in the movies.
I think it's just Dove Cameron and Sophie Caruso just having a romance off screen.
100%. It's gay. And then also, for that matter, Jay and Carlos's relationship, that be gay now. Like, I know they're supposed to be heterosexual.
Cameron Boyce. I'm so sad that he's dead.
Rip Cameron Boyce, who played Carlos.
Don't say rip. That sounds so awful.
Rest in peace.
Hashtag Rip Cameron Boyce.
Hashtag
say
rip.
Rest in peace. Don't say rip. Because that just sounds like rip. That sucks. No, sucks that you're dead. I'm so sorry, Cameron Boyce.
It truly is like one of the saddest things that
it was such a tragedy, and
he's such a young actor who died.
He was so talented. He could dance, he could sing, he could act. He was such an amazing guy.
I think he was about our age.
He was our age. I think he was 19 or 20 when he died.
Yeah, which is like heartbreaking.
It's so sad. It was so sudden too. No one saw it coming.
So, going back to Monster High.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to figure it all out, and I'm going to be spending the summer mostly doing working and doing freelance stuff. But if I have breaks or free time, there's a good chance that if I'm not answering someone's texts, it's because I'm trying to figure out the puzzle pieces as to why Monster High feels like it's been erased.
We could make a video essay or something.
Oh, I 100%
We're gonna make an expose. I will help you.
I just there are so many different things. And are there any questions that you have or anything you want to ask about?
I mean, I really liked Monster High when I was a kid for a lot of reasons. I liked the fashion. I liked that it was basically edgier Barbie. I liked that it was a unique take. Because at the time, there wasn't a ton of
monster girl stuff.
Yeah, there wasn't monster things for girls. There was monster things for dudes.
Right.
And even with Monster High, yeah, they're obviously catering it to girls. And they're obviously making them fashionistas and have cute outfits and look kind of pretty. But it still was they had a scary element, and also it was just opening up a different kind of
alleyway for girls to behave.
Yeah, they didn't. It was kind of with Bratz dolls.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many moms, my mom included, who didn't like their kids playing with Bratz dolls.
I have memories of people being you cannot play with Bratz dolls.
Because first of all, they were called Bratz, and second of all,
right,
because of the fashion that they wore, people thought it was
sexualizing.
People thought it was sexualizing. People thought it was like trashy or whatever. I thought it was really cool. I thought the Bratz fashion was actually very in at the time.
I never was into Bratz, but I think that was just the culture of society. And so I think with
I mean,
Monster
we were
High.
both like white kids who grew up in Southern California. We didn't play with Bratz. We played with Barbies. And we played with Monster High dolls.
I played with Barbies and I read the Monster High books and I loved it. Oh,
I love Barbie. I love Monster High. I didn't play with Bratz, but I do respect Bratz.
And I believe Bratz also made by Mattel.
I haven't seen anything in regards to Bratz in so long.
I'm like 99% sure. So all of these are made by the same company. They are good at their job.
Are they really?
They are.
I thought Bratz was made by a completely different company. No. I'm gonna look that up right now.
I'm searching it up. You keep talking. So,
because the thing with Bratz dolls was that they were like a more contemporary take. Or were they made?
Oh, they were made by MGA Entertainment.
Okay, so they weren't made by Mattel, because I remember they were like a huge competitor with Barbie. Right.
And so that's also an interesting part of it, because like there's this weird competition, but Monster High was never seen as a competition with Barbie or Bratz dolls. Like it was never
just kind of coexisted.
Yeah, they were able to live in harmony. There was this weird thing where we were just like, we love Monster High. We were just pro Monster High and pro Barbie in different ways.
My mom, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but my mom just texted me. She wants her name to be cleared. She said, wrong, I didn't like Bratz because they were ugly with big fat heads. Thanks, Mom.
I mean, like, like the dolls were not that pretty sometimes.
I mean, I don't know. I thought they were pretty. They had pretty, like, in fashion. I remember
the in fashion was just cheetah print.
I mean, cheetah print was very in the early 2000s, which is when Bratz were most popular.
Right. The in fashion was mostly just cheetah print. And that's what, I mean, like, that's what Monster High characters have. Like, it's like Frankie is wearing plaid throughout the entire series. Like they just, I feel like, I don't know what it is about, like, with patterns. I think it's sort of like, bold patterns, bold fashions. That's what they want.
I think it's kind of like maybe prejudice and there, maybe some slight racism. I don't know. But like people don't really like bold patterns. People don't, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like it's a white people thing. I don't know.
It's too unique. It's too different. But that's what they like truly believed in. That's what they wanted. And so like the whole point of Monster High was to tell little girls, you could be whatever you want to be. You could be a monster.
Like, you're fine the way that you are.
100%.
You don't have to, like, conform to anyone else's
You don't have to be Barbie.
I liked that. Because I remember there's this whole debate around Barbie. And about,
there always is.
Like, about, like, whether or not Barbie is, like, a good thing for girls. First of all, I really don't like the conversation of what's good for little girls and what isn't, because you never hear that for little boys. You never hear things like, oh, little
Hulk
boys.
Hogan dolls. Or
like Hulk Hogan. Like, oh, boys shouldn't like play with this, or boys shouldn't play with that because it's bad for little boys. Nobody talks about that because nobody thinks that little boys are impressionable, even if they are. But people always talk about what is good for little girls and what girls are reading, because obviously girls are not smart enough to understand and comprehend what's being fed to them and make decisions for themselves.
But at the same
which they obviously are, but no one seems to think that.
But at the same time, I loved Barbie.
I did. I loved Barbie.
I loved the way she looked. I loved the way she acted. I loved that she could have every single job in the entire world. That's what sold me on it. The fact that she could be president one day and she could be an astronaut the next, and she was still a feminine
and she
girl.
Could be a mermaid.
And she could be a mermaid, but she was still herself.
She was a powerful a powerful woman. But also I understand like there was like body shame things that came with her. And yes, I do think that they were making by making more inclusive looking Barbies, I think that's great. But I don't think that Barbie is like evil and like bad for little girls. And I don't think that necessitated Monster High dolls. I just liked that Monster High dolls were like a different kind of vibe. They had that monster vibe. They had more edge.
Mattel knew what their audience was. Mattel knew that their audience was young girls who wanted dolls that made them feel good about themselves.
Right.
In their own unique ways, but still had these like almost unattainable attributes at the same time.
Because Monster High dolls were ridiculously thin.
They
had like these big old heads and like big old eyes. Here, let me look up Monster High dolls.
Skinniest waists, and like they were like ridiculously thin, but at the same time, and like they were like they had scars on them. They had like they had fur. They were hairy. They had like werewolf ears. Like they were like tried and true flaws, or that's what they called them at least.
Right. Are these the new dolls or the old dolls?
These are all the new dolls.
Because these do not look like the old dolls.
This is the old doll right there.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at pictures of the dolls, by the way. I know you can't see any of this. I remember having this doll. I love the Draculaura doll.
The Draculaura doll. And like look at her, like she's so skinny, she's so perfect.
I never really saw it that way. I always liked the fashion. I always liked the hair colors because the hair was always like
slightly off.
The hair was like either like interesting colors or it was an interesting styles. I liked that it was a bit more of a diverse cast of characters.
100%.
Even though, like, you know,
it's mostly white.
I mean, there's Draculaura's pink.
Frankie's
green.
Laguna is basically like a light blue.
Claudine is obviously, you know,
a person of color.
Yeah, and so is Cleo.
Cleo.
Because she's Egyptian.
And then there's Gulia, who's like grayish.
She's like blue. She's like a blue-gray color. And like, I guess when you have like characters of like various different colors and you don't see characters that have more skin color, you immediately can like sub for that. And also there's kind of white coated. Draculaura has like an Eastern European accent. She's very clearly not.
That's because she's a vampire and all vampires are from Transylvania.
Don't we all know that all vampires are Eastern European and nothing else. If you're Nosferatu, a very anti-Semitic German
terrifying teeth. The worst teeth.
I liked Monster High dolls because they were different. And because I was fed the not like girls juice, and because Barbie to me, because when you're a
was
kid,
like other girls. Barbie was.
She was pink and she was pretty and she was blonde and had blue eyes and was tall.
And Draculaura and pretty and tall. No, she's short.
She's short.
Sorry,
she's a short queen.
She's a queen.
Excuse me.
As soon as I said it, I knew I was wrong. I apologize. I would like to make an apology now.
Hashtag I am so sorry, Draculaura.
Draculaura is, I think she's 4.
I think she something like that.
Yeah, she's like
she wears
really
like
short.
These really big heels, and she's still shorter than ever.
Yes, like she is like purposefully short, and like they are all different heights. It's not like all like perfect 6-foot women. Like it's.
And looking at the difference, because I'm looking at comparison between old Monster High dolls and new Monster High dolls. The old Monster High dolls have very features. Sort of like Bratz dolls. So they had these really big eyes.
Thick lips
with like dark. They had scars on their faces. They had like bright eyeshadow, very sharp features. The hands are really weird, especially Frankie's hands because you can off.
Oh yeah, you can. I forgot about that.
That was like a feature of the web series where the hands scuttle across the ground and like grab things.
Right. I remember that would be in the storyline, but I forgot that you can literally take them off for like you could take them off for the dolls, I think.
Yeah, and like the old Monster High dolls are a lot harsher. They have darker colors, harsher blacks. The new ones are much softer. They look like basically Barbie, but like dipped in green.
Right.
Like it is not the same.
It's not the same. And so that's kind of like the vibe of the rest of what it's been since. And everything feels like it's been just kind of changed in this weird off way.
I don't know. I think it's really interesting the fact that they're made by the same people as Barbie. Because if they're made by the same people as Barbie, and only phasing out old Monster High and trying to erase that history, if that is true, then that means that they're trying to make Barbie 2.0.
They saw their audience. They knew that what they wanted to do was they saw that there were 2 girls. There were Barbie girls, and then there were girls who were like, I'm not Barbie girls. And they decided
because we live in a society that is sexist.
Right. And they saw their audience. They saw that there was an opportunity to make more money, and they said, hey, we want to still be able to teach girls, like, own yourself, do whatever you want to do. Like, if we have this like weird double-sided coin. Let's just make money off of it.
But I don't understand why they would then try to make them more like soft or like Barbie-ish.
I don't understand that either. And I don't know why they're erasing like monster existence, because like I'm trying to find it. I want to watch the movies. I want to watch the videos because I remember enjoying them.
I loved the old stuff. I loved how like I just really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I liked the canon. I always liked anything with like a fantasy twist.
Right.
Give me anything with a fantasy twist and I will immediately love it. Monsters, I love monsters. Like movie monsters.
It was
I
the
love
perfect mix.
like their werewolf content.
Yes. And they had an entire movie dedicated to vampire werewolf content.
It's good. Like it was just my crack when I was a kid.
They lived an entire movie where it was like vampires and werewolves can't be friends, blah, blah, blah. And then at the very end, it was like, oh, it's been the humans long trying to make us not like each other.
It's
like,
the men.
It was a man. It was a man.
It was the men.
You heard it here first.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Because while Barbie seems to be going in a completely different direction, where they seem like I don't know much about Barbie anymore, but like they seem like they're integrating more body types. They're listening to criticisms about Barbie. Monster High, they're going in the completely opposite direction.
My only thought process is that they saw that Monster High slowly dwindling, mostly because the people who were watching Monster High and who liked Monster High were aging and they weren't a newer audience. And They said, okay, what if we try and make it newer and hipper by making it more towards Barbie, because Barbie's still selling. And I think after they saw that wasn't working, they just were like, okay, scratch that. We're taking this all off the market.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's not great.
It's not great. It's not a very fun or happy ending. I want to this episode has literally made me decide that I will be doing more research on like what's happened to Monster High since.
Well, guys, stay tuned for Monster High Part 2.
Monster High Part 5.
Monster High Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
This is a threat and a promise, Mattel. We're coming for you.
Okay, let's not.
No, that was a joke. That was a joke, Mattel. We love you. We love Monster High.
Just want old Monster High. We miss the old Frankie.
I'll even take new Monster High. I just like Monster High.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at some high collection. The original dolls. You can buy all the original 6 dolls for $105.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
That is stupid. Okay, we gotta wrap this up.
We
can't rant about Monster High for much longer.
That's basically all we got for today anyway. Thank you guys so much for listening to our show. Tune in next to find out if we ever actually become experts.
Make sure to follow us on social media. Our joint accounts for the show, at Technically Not Experts on Instagram, as well as our individual Instagram accounts, Elliot Kelliot and at Daryn-ish. We will also be posting this episode and all previous episodes on our YouTube channel, where you can listen to all of our past episodes if you missed any. So make sure to go subscribe to that channel to catch up.
The YouTube channel being at Technically Not Experts.
I don't think there's an at in Instagram, or not Instagram, YouTube, but okay.
Whoopsie daisy. We'll be back here next Monday at 4 p.m.
And every Monday after
Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Until next time,
goodbye.